Hey everyone, it's Jamie from Independent Street Tarot and Seasons and Ritual, and I'm here with my good friend Helen, the Crimson Cadaverous, and we were eating a little bit of granola. Might be in the teeth.
Yes.
And we are on secret location.
Yes.
Helen's got a secret spot here in
Yes.
New Orleans, so she invited me over to her little Shangri-La.
The secret garden.
Yes.
We are in the secret garden right now.
And so I'm very thankful. Thank you for bringing me here. It's like get some new vibes.
Yes. Gotta have new vibes because we're talking about new vibes for this week.
That's
so
right.
It's perfect.
Perfect intro. Okay, so it's the week of 9/11, which is a big day, to 9/17.
Yep.
We are, we're kind of wrapping up Virgo, so I would say we're in the middle of it. We're right in the middle of Virgo season.
Yeah, but towards the middle, towards the end.
Towards the middle, towards the
we're
end.
hitting the peak going into the end.
That's a great way to put it, and
Yeah.
because we do have the Virgo New Moon this week.
Yes.
So let's start with Monday, the 11th. The moon will be in Leo.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead.
I think it's a really beautiful energy because the main thing that we have going on is the square between the moon in Leo conjunct Venus and Juno, so all in Leo, squaring Jupiter. Which again, sometimes with squares we go, oh, they're kind of challenging. The challenge here, okay, so Jupiter, anytime Jupiter is involved, is just challenging us to enjoy life more and be more faithful, be more optimistic.
And I'm going to add to that and say, if you guys are feeling just like WTF energy that day, it is challenging you to go above that energy,
Yes.
to see it, but also realize, there can be more than this kind of energy on the planet. Because I feel like sometimes when good energy comes in, it makes us very agitated.
Yeah.
Because because first we're not used to it, so we're like, what is this?
Yeah.
Ugh. But then we're like, oh, this is what it is. It'd be like, I know I always say like going to the gym. And you're like, you're excited, you want to work out, right? But then when you start doing it, you're like, this is fucking hard.
Yes.
I don't know how my body feels, what is happening. And so I feel the same way. We're like, oh, good, a bunch of new energy is going to be coming on the planet.
Yes.
And then it gets here, and then we're like, well, I don't know about you, but my friends are like, what the fuck, Jamie?
Yeah.
And I'm like, it'll settle in.
I will say, what's weird? Like, I know this is like totally left field from what you just said,
Yeah.
but what I was thinking about was almost like with relationships, like
Okay.
if you've, had like a lifetime of like living in toxic relationships and you're finally healing,
Oh, I think that's perfect.
a lot of times people like have this period where they get bored
Yeah.
and it's like,
why?
because I'm not battling all this toxic shit.
Right.
you
Yeah.
know.
No, that's perfect.
Right.
I think that
And
goes
I feel
with
like
it.
that's almost like the energy we get when we're like, we have all this new stuff coming in where we're like, but it's not toxic.
Right.
So what do I do with it?
Right. Why is this
Right.
feel calm?
Right.
Or, like you said, bored. When it's
Right.
actually stable.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the thing is we're starting to learn. And again, with Virgo, Virgo, will definitely help us with that. Starting to learn what that means to be just like okay with being okay.
Right. It's because once we start getting into that energy of being okay, right, then our mind gets to go to other things. It gets out of survival mode. And what does that open up? Oh, the rest of the world.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I think there's something about like the energy that is coming in with this week, especially starting off Moon in Leo, which is, always
My moon's in Leo, girl.
Exactly. Like always going to want us to like come from a heart base and
Yeah.
like remember love.
Mm-hmm.
But conjunct Venus and Juno. So it's like the strong feminine energy,
Relationship
again,
energy.
relationships, beauty, values, commitment, like, and again, squaring Jupiter. Jupiter is like, do you have the faith in yourself to like really go after these things that you really want?
Right. And also like sit with the stuff that you find uncomfortable, right? And also sit with the idea of like, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, like, oh, I brought this on myself a lot, you know? And this isn't the idea of like victim shaming, but it's the idea of like when I would think of like, what does a good relationship look like? I was like, oh, you know what? I was just imagining a toxic relationship.
Yeah.
And so what was being mirrored back to me? That.
Yeah.
And so once I realized that and I was like, and I mean, it was more than that. It was like,
Right.
then I started actually saying, okay, what does a true love relationship look like?
Right.
And if at the time I didn't know, I was just, all right, I allow myself to see what true love looks like. I allow myself to see what true love feels like because it's not based in obsession or addiction, and I've always dated addicts. I just, you know what I mean? And it was, that's what happens when you grew up in the 90s.
Yeah.
And the codependency was king.
So true.
Yeah. And so now I'm just like, oh, wait, I don't have to keep skirting around that because I can just start a new story.
Starting new stories, yes, lots of that.
So
especially the tail end of Mercury retrograde.
Yes.
Starting those new stories.
Yeah, because with this Mercury retrograde, and it might be a little bit before the Mercury, but it was able for me to like. It was, what am I thinking about? It was mirroring back, like, what are the stories I've always told myself, especially when it comes to love and relationships. Yeah. And guess what? They were toxic.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, stories. Yeah. So, yeah. All right, so Monday is a good day.
Yes.
Enjoy this moon in Leo.
Yes.
Okay, Tuesday.
Moon's still in Leo.
Okay, thanks, Leo.
And see, this time we've got the square with Uranus.
Okay, so Monday square with Jupiter in Taurus, and then Tuesday square with Uranus in Taurus.
Yes, so to me that's like, and then, so we've got that square with Uranus, but we've also got the conjunction with Lilith. Uh-huh. They are both liberating energies.
Right, that was me taking responsibility for my story.
Right, and Moon in Leo is courage. So it's like having the courage to liberate ourselves from old stories, but also just any old paradigms. Yeah. Like anything that like we know in our hearts, like this is not ours anymore. Right,
100%. And
however
also,
familiar it is, it's time to let it go.
And it's okay if you guys feel pissed off. Yeah. You know, let me tell you about the energy of disillusionment. When you start to be like, waking up, you get angry because you're like, you mean to tell me I was carrying this shit around for 40 years of my fucking life and I didn't have to anymore? Yeah, you get a little revved up. Yes. Okay, so it's okay to get a little revved up, you know, but also use that revving up to move through this, right? Yeah. Because that Uranus, that happens fast.
This is like spark, this is fire.
Moon and Leo.
Remind me when we're talking about Virgo, just talk about a lantern.
Okay.
But anyways, we're talking about fire, so like I gotta keep going with that. But we've got even more fire energy that same day with the trine we have with Chiron, Eris, and North Node to the moon. So they're all in Aries. So like that, like, okay, so a trine is 120 degrees away, harmonious energy, giving us opportunities. That's like giving us opportunities to light the fire back up, to like get the flame going.
It's enough space, right, to get that flame going. When you're like calling your friend, you're like, are you almost here? You know, you get so excited. Okay, yeah.
Right, because like if we're making room by getting rid of the things, by liberating ourselves, we've got space to like start a new fire.
Ooh, I like this. Yeah. Okay, it's also sextiling Sirius in Libra. Yes. And also sextiling Vesta, which is our flame, in Gemini.
Yes. So again, Sirius is always asking us to nurture ourselves, care for ourselves, feed ourselves, you know,
and
what do we need.
And it's important when it's in Libra, because a lot of times Libras put others in front of them. So Libras, put yourself first. And us that are, you know, just put yourself first. Yes. Make sure your needs are met. And Vesta is that spiritual flame, right?
Yes. So she's just helping. She's almost like handing us a lighter. She's going like, light it back up. Let's get going.
And she's in Gemini, so she's saying light up all sides of yourself. Yes. You know, it's just not this way or that way. You know, it is all sides.
I also keep hearing like, that's a good day because the moon is waning. We're getting really close to the new moon, but we're releasing things, getting rid of things during that time period. I'm also hearing like do some kind of like burning ceremony safely.
Safely.
Very safely. Don't go out in the forest, you know, do it. But like, you know, if you burn some kind of candle or like, you know, light something to like kind of burn something away, even just in your mind, like I feel like there's like a burning away of like some of the old just crud. Yeah. That like we're still dragging around that like I think maybe we don't even realize it.
And this is important too because a lot of times like we are moving towards the equinox, and a lot of times on solstices and equinox we always I'm using blanket terms, the royal we, I guess.
Whatever.
But we always burn things, right? Because it is a purification. And a lot of times, too, that smoke, not only did it kill, like, parasites and things like that, but it also, you know how they say, like, it formed a smoke screen, but really it was a lot about purification and, like, killing parasites and things like that. And so I see that as well, like, killing off, or the parasites, basically. Yes. Making things clean again.
Yeah, I think definitely. And of course, Virgo, we're going into Virgo, you know, new moon, and we're in Virgo season. Virgo wants things to be clean, so it makes sense that we're doing that. That we're almost like kind of disinfecting.
Oh, you know what? And I'm going to just lead into this too, right? Because the Virgin Mary, who's a Virgo, it was her birthday on the 8th.
There we go.
It said it on the calendar. Was I there?
Oh,
Not exactly. But it's on the calendar, so.
You know, I just don't really believe in coincidences.
Yeah.
And when these things like fall perfectly, it's like
She's the virgin.
I know.
But she ascended, right, when she realized there was no such thing as sin. And so this is going back to this idea of clearing all those old things that are just holding you down. Because it is time for us in this Virgo season to ascend and just be like, none of this is real.
Yeah.
Like, these were all man-made. I don't have to do this anymore. Okay, now we can ascend.
Yeah.
Okay, friends, this is going to be a good week. Wednesday, the moon is in Leo, but it moves into Virgo.
Yes. Pretty much right after midnight.
Okay. So the moon will be basically in
Virgo most of the day.
Wait, will it move, like...
Early in the morning.
Like, Virgo is midnight Wednesday? Do you see what I'm saying?
Oh, Wednesday morning. Early Wednesday morning, like 12:05 or something.
It moves into
like
Virgo.
That. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Mercury retrograde.
Yeah. It's almost over with.
Wink. Okay.
Almost done. Done. Light at the end of the tunnel.
Okay, so the moon will move into Virgo. Thank you.
Yes.
But it's not. That's not the new moon. The new moon isn't
next
till
day.
Thursday. Okay.
Yes.
So on Wednesday, the moon moves into Virgo, and then what did you want to say about this?
Yes. So I really like the fact that like it's almost kind of like setting the scene for the new moon the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to remember that like when the moon is the time period, like the waning crescent, the balsamic moon, right before the new moon, this is our time period where we're clearing away.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you know, whatever's coming in, like, okay, so for example, we've got the moon in Virgo conjunct Mercury.
Mm-hmm.
That means we've got new ideas coming in.
Mm-hmm.
So we may not be able to implement those ideas right away because we're still kind of clearing away. So Mercury is coming in to help us like kind of write those ideas down, like get it down so that like when we start getting into the new moon the next day going forward, we're able to actually take those ideas and do something with them.
That's really good because the same day, the moon in Virgo is opposite Saturn and Pisces.
Yes.
Right. So you're getting all this new information in.
Right.
But maybe also, since Mercury is retrograde, you're going over the old stuff.
Right.
And Saturn and Pisces, it's opposite. It's like, yeah, that's not stable anymore.
Right.
That can't, if you want to get here, you can't keep thinking this
Right.
or doing that. Okay, what's the new thing you need to do? Like you were saying.
Yeah.
Write that stuff down.
And it's like a perfect day to remember that like endings and beginnings are always upon us. Because it's like we're like, you know, things are ending. That's why we are clearing things away. But like, again, we're readying the space for new. We're making, you know, waiting to plant some more seeds.
I love that. I just see like sweeping the dirt floors and putting down rugs.
Yes. And another cool thing on that day, and actually this is not the only thing that's going on with the dwarf planets this week. We've got a lot of stuff going on with the dwarf planets. Pallas Athena and Vesta both change signs on that day and square each other around the same time.
Okay.
So Pallas Athena is entering Libra.
Nice.
And she is, I call her the wise warrior. So she's like helping us strategize how we, you know, plan our attack.
Okay.
You know, whatever we're, you know, idea of whatever we're going after. How we do that, what's the logistics of it. She, you know, it's always looking at the logistics. And she's also a warrior, so she is about bravery and things like that. But then Vesta, again, you said is about our sacred flame. She's moving into Cancer, so like that would be at the home,
which
the
is
home hearth.
Right, and I think that's perfect for Vesta because we think about the Vestal virgins and how they had to keep the flame going.
Yeah, it makes sense for her to be in Cancer because again, you know, the home
Our
hearth.
home, yeah.
So again, they are squaring. So to me, that's almost like challenging us to how do we strategize, you know, keeping our home fires burning, but also obtaining the things we need out in the world, doing the things that we need, you know, so that we can keep those home fires burning.
I like that. It's like also how do we, in our minds, start to understand it's okay to put ourselves first.
Yes.
When we've been taught the opposite
Yeah.
in a really toxic way, you know? And even when we're like, oh, self-care, you know, I've got to take a bath. My bubble bath, but then just go and take care of everybody else afterwards. You know, I really feel like this is like, since Pallas Athena is entering Libra, Libra wants that balance. And it's like, okay, well, how do you put yourself first and then balance that?
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, spicy week, friends.
It is.
Yeah.
Like it's,
and that's,
shifting some things off.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready. Okay, Thursday is our new moon in Virgo.
Yay.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, and that one looks really beautiful because we've got a trine with Jupiter and Uranus. So, like, you know, expanding our vision, you know, being adaptable to change, doing things differently so that we can have change.
And you guys know, again, when Uranus/Uranus is involved, it's hard in my brain, in the words. It happens unexpectedly and it happens fast.
Yes.
You know, and the fact, though, that it is in Taurus, which is, you know, Jupiter and Uranus are in Taurus, which is an Earth, which is fixed Earth, and the Moon in Virgo. Virgo is mutable Earth. So this is going to be good. This is going to be a good new moon for things switching, flipping in ways that we can grow, ways that we can become stable, ways that we can make more money.
Yeah.
Abundance is what I'm trying to think of. Yeah.
I keep hearing like working smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
And I feel like Virgo can show us that.
Yeah.
Because Virgo's always going to be as efficient as possible, and it's going to be like, you don't need to do these million steps. Let me show you how to do this really easily and efficiently.
Right, and also, sweet Virgos, stay present, stay in the present.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That would be working smarter,
yes.
not harder.
Exactly.
Is there anything else you guys want to say? I'll put out a new moon video. You'll do your...
Yeah, I'll do my daily write-up on that, and I just feel really good about this new moon, because it's like, it really does seem to be like kind of shifting us forward and just being like, all right, that was the old.
Yeah.
Here we are now.
And then see what comes in. Did you say crow?
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe it was. Okay, yeah. And this is a good day just to see what comes in, you guys.
Yeah.
When the moon is in Virgo, you know, when the moon rests. Yeah. Hi, friends. Rest and see what starts coming in, you know, and just expect the unexpected, I guess.
Yes. Oh, that's why I wanted to remember the lantern thing.
Oh, the lantern.
I'm thinking of the Hermit card, which is associated with Virgo. And I was actually watching one of the gals that I watch on YouTube, Sarah Burba, and she was like, she pulled the Hermit card when talking about the Virgo New Moon. She's like, of course. You know. And she kept saying lantern, inner lantern, inner lantern, inner lantern. And I kept thinking about that. And I'm like, I feel like that's what, almost more than our inner compass, because, like, we're going to have to shift directions. We're going to have to, you know, whatever. But, like, knowing that our flame is still going. I was
about to say that word. We need our flame back.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's something about going deep within during, like, hermiting away during this Virgo new moon, even if it's literally just for 5 minutes.
Right.
Where we just reconnect with that, like, inner flame, you know, the inner lantern, and go, okay, what is the way for me to shine out that's right?
And if you guys are in a space right now where you are maybe depressed or not feeling very well, and just in your mind, see yourself have a little lantern inside you and you just light it.
Yeah.
Okay? If you can't get in touch with that feeling, it's okay. It will come.
Yeah. And maybe during the Virgo new moon, like, you make a point to light a candle and, like, visualize it being the inner lantern or something.
Yeah.
You know, whatever you need to do to get in that, like, mindset of, like, I'm relighting, I'm putting it back in, you know, in use, or whatever you want to say.
And hand it over. You know, this is one of the things, too, like, surrendering. Like, surrender's been coming up a lot. So light that little flame and then hand it over. Like, again, you don't have to light it and then pour gasoline on it. Like I always say,
just light it.
You have to drink 30 Red Bulls and be ready to party.
No.
Those were the days. Okay, you were there.
Long time ago.
Yeah, we were in different places, but I know she was there. Okay,
Yes.
Friday, moon will still be in Virgo. Did you see? I thought someone was walking down the pathway, but it was just the wind.
Yeah, I think it's just the wind or the birds, because they do kind of come through here.
Or the spirits.
I mean, that would be really weird if somebody was walking through here.
Well, I think someone might have been walking through here.
Ooh. Okay.
I think it's the spirits. Thank you. Okay.
Only benevolent.
Yeah.
Thank you. Otherwise, go away.
Yeah. I still feel fine, so it's okay. Okay. So Friday, the moon will still be in Virgo all day. Correct?
Most of the day.
Or most of the day.
Eventually
It goes into Libra. Okay,
yes.
sorry guys. Okay, so on Friday, the moon will be in the Virgo for most of the day.
Yes.
Okay, what would you like to say that? Would you like to talk about it when it's still in Virgo or just after it moves into Libra?
Well, what's really interesting is we have some really heavy Virgo energy. That's just the leaves that you're hearing. I know, it's kind of crazy. We have some really heavy Virgo energy on that day. So not only do we have the the moon in Virgo, we have Mercury, which is also in Virgo, stationing direct. And we have Ceres entering Scorpio.
Thank you, goddess.
And there's been, you know, quite a bit of argument made that Ceres is the true ruler of Virgo, now that we've discovered her. And so that, you know, it makes sense because she's a nurturer, all those kinds of things.
Because right now, Venus rules. Wait, Virgo. Venus rules Virgo right now, right?
No.
Who rules Virgo? Mercury?
Mercury.
Yeah,
yes,
Mercury
yes.
rules Virgo.
So again, like Mercury in their home sign.
Venus
of
rules
Virgo.
Libra.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Yes.
Now,
Do you see
that
that?
I've utterly
We
confused
were
our
talking about
viewers.
Mercury making everything murky.
Yeah.
Or it's
bio.
like we're questioning things like this where we're like, we know
Well,
this,
yeah, I know.
but-
But in my brain, like I was seeing it. It was anyway.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
like, wait,
so
what?
Mercury rules Virgo right now.
Yes.
Okay.
And so
I mean,
we've got, again, Sirius,
Mhm.
which is, again, not technically Virgo, but a lot of argument has been made, and it does kind of make sense
Yeah.
because, her association with the earth and grain and
Mhm.
nurturing, that she would be
planet,
associated
Earth. Yeah. Earth.
that
yeah.
she would be associated with Virgo.
Mhm.
And so we've got this really strong Virgo energy on that day leading into Libra. So it's like, we're doing the work, we're getting things organized,
Mhm.
but we're doing that so that we can have the balance. So we can have, the justice.
Mhm.
And like some of justice is us taking care of the business
Mhm.
so that on the back end we can have fun and things like that.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's like a beginning of the day, taking care of business.
So Friday, take care of business.
Yes.
Take care of your business.
Yes.
Take care of your business on Friday.
Yes.
Mercury is stationing direct on Friday.
Yes. So Mercury
Thank
station direct, is, I feel like, like it feels like Mercury's been retrograde for like forever and
know.
really has not.
No, I mean, I felt like I was cruising through it, and then like the last 7 days, it was like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yeah, we've
it's like this
definitely,
dog.
and I think we
yapping.
gotta also remember that we just kind of did like a little flip flop where we've already had a whole bunch of planets retrograde,
Mhm.
everything except for Mars, basically.
Mhm.
And we had Venus come out, but then we had Jupiter go in.
Yeah.
So it was like, we've just kind of traded one for the other.
Which again, how long was Mars retrograde for?
Mars,
Remember?
well, wait, so,
Like 6 months?
oh God, how long was it? It
4
wasn't
months?
that long.
4 months?
I think it was in the same sign for that
Yes,
long, like
yes.
for like 5 months, and then was retrograde for like 2. That's what it was.
That's what it was.
Yeah, and that was too much.
Yeah.
But so that,
And that was too much.
yeah, but like, and then Venus,
Yeah.
she kind of did,
She went retrograde.
yeah,
Now
she
she's
did her
going-
little backwards dance, and like, had us contemplating, finances and values,
Yeah.
and
Look what you manifested.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Good job.
But now that she's stationed direct, we still have to remember, we're waiting on Mercury, we've got all the outer planets.
Yeah.
So, like, again, if things are a little murky still, that's okay. And, like, we just have to make sure we're kind of taking our time.
Yep. The light's at the end of the tunnel with Mercury stationing direct on Friday.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, friends. Saturday, the moon is in Libra
Yes.
all day.
Yes.
Thank God. I
Yes.
got that one right. Okay. It says it right here on the notes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, Saturday, moon is in Libra.
Yes.
What's the big thing happening that day?
So I actually think big thing happening that day, besides the Mars conjunction,
Mhm.
which is really kind of cool because Mars is in Libra too, which is usually, not
guys.
his favorite place.
Yeah.
But
He's liking it.
he's liking it because I feel like he's kind of gone through
Right.
a transformation.
And it's balancing him out.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's feeling balanced out. So
Mhm.
like again, it's almost like we're feeling balanced out,
Mm-hmm.
and like our power kind of starts to like come back to us when
Mhm.
we're in balance.
That little flame maybe gets a little boost.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know what's really interesting? Okay, so I'm not going to meander too much,
Okay.
but I was looking at, for some reason, the thesaurus words for tension the other day.
Uh-huh.
And one of the synonyms
Mhm.
of tension is balance.
Yeah, that makes
And-
sense.
Right.
Well, because when I say there's a square, remember I always say it's pulling us to get that
Right.
perfect tension.
Right. And we always
Yeah.
think like tension, we're like, oh, it's
So
so
tense.
tense.
Yeah.
But like, if you think about it as balance, it's like, yeah, you do need things, like certain things to be tense so that it balances out. It can't be like,
Yeah,
"Ugh,"
listen, that sailboat's not going to move if it's
right, if the,
flapping around. The sail's flapping around,
Exactly.
so.
So it's like there's something to remember. I feel like, and Libra helps us remember that, and Mars being our power planet helps us remember that like when we feel the tension, it's actually helping us balance out.
Mm-hmm.
So like instead of like going, oh,
Today sucks.
like
How
just
can
kind of be like, all right, so what's the challenge?
Yeah.
See, the crow knows.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, pay attention.
Crow's
humans.
like, don't take yourself so seriously,
Yeah.
humans. Caca.
Yeah, quit leaving the fries out that are cold. Leave me some hot
I
ones.
need some hot fries. Okay, also that day, Venus in Leo will be squaring Jupiter in Taurus.
Yes, which I think is a really lovely vibe. We kind of had that at the beginning of the week, you know, when the moon was squaring Jupiter, but with also Venus and Juno.
Yeah.
So we're kind of finishing up the week with that energy as well. Where like Venus, our value system, how we find beauty, how we translate beauty into the world with like art and things of that nature. That energy squaring Jupiter, which is our faith, our higher learning, our sense of adventure.
Right, grounding it in there, and also like yeah, with Jupiter, but also I think too like seeing how when we are in that we feel abundant.
Yes.
You know, and I'm not trying to take it back to money, but like you said, Jupiter is faith and you know, it can be money and luck and gifts, but really start to see like that's our gift. When we feel abundant, that's really a gift. And so like you said, we kind of started with this energy at the beginning of the week, and I feel like at the end of the week, it starts to make sense how we can show up naturally like that.
Yeah.
Especially with Mars being in Libra.
Yes.
Right? That's that balance of that masculine and Leo. And then Venus and Juno are both in Leo.
Right. Sextiling the moon.
And
So, yeah.
that's a good balance.
There's a lot of like strong feminine and masculine energy that on that day. But like to me, I feel like it's really just again like helping us balance out, but like remembering that we, you know, need to meet the tension so that we can balance out, so that we can get there.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, we're at Sunday, the 17th.
Yes.
The moon will still be in Libra for the
Yes.
beginning of the day.
Yes.
And it's going to sextile Lilith
Yes.
in Leo. Lilith is in Leo.
Yes.
So I think that's good. The moon in Libra will be squaring Pluto, who's in Capricorn. Yeah.
And also opposite Chiron, the North Node in Eris and Aries.
Yeah.
So to me, I feel like, you know, the sextile with Lilith is helping us liberate from...
The old story.
Right. Liberate from the old stories and the need to cling.
Oh, yeah.
Because this moon opposite, you know, Chiron, North Node, and Eris squaring Pluto, that's all a T-square right there.
Right. And you guys, you can see, like you're saying, like, you can see where you were clinging. Or where we were clinging to things and we're just like, no. And it might not feel comfortable, right?
Yeah.
I mean, one of those might be that we're clinging on to that because we think that's how we have to survive. That's how we have to make money. You know, that's how we have to show up. But it's squaring that Pluto in Capricorn.
Yeah.
And Pluto is death. And, you know, Capricorn is the way we work.
Yeah.
And Pluto is in that last degree of Capricorn. So this is going to be might be a little bit of an intense day.
Yeah, I see it. I definitely see it as a day that like is going to challenge us. But you know, we always say, you know, if we meet the challenge, you know, that's how we level up. And I just kind of see this as like almost like clearing the egress, like clearing the stuff out of the hallway.
Yeah.
That is going to keep us from like being able to, this could sound, you know, horrible, but like escape, you know, but like kind of just get out of like the old paradigm.
Right. And listen, you guys, you can move forward while still feeling scared about things. Like there have been times in the past couple months where I have been terrified. I mean, like terrified. Like I made decisions. I mean, and these were decisions with like realtors and stuff. Okay, it's not like life or death. But anyway, at the time though,
it feels like it sometimes.
I know, and I was just like, you have to do this. And I mean, my body felt numb, you know, like my heart was pounding, you know, and I was like, and I just had to talk myself through it. I was like, these are just physical reactions. The reality of it is, I can't keep working with these people.
Yeah.
And I don't know why it was such a big deal at the time, but it was. Okay. But you just, so if things come up and you're like,
more of a lesson there than just the thing.
Right. So if these things come up and you guys are having like these intense emotions, right? Just remember,
Hello,
you can get through it. You can get through it because then the moon will move into Scorpio, and when it moves into Scorpio, you know, again, Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, and Pluto is death. So
and we're already squaring Pluto, so
Right.
it's just Scorpio moon's coming in, just kind of finish the job.
Yeah.
With Pluto.
yeah,
And again, I think the more we can not cling on that day and just kind of surrender and accept that, like, if something's leaving, it's leaving for a reason, and we know deep down why.
yeah,
I was going to say same day.
yeah.
We've got Sirius trining Vesta, which again is that same energy that, you know, of like taking care of ourselves, nurturing ourselves with our inner flame.
Yeah, so
That's
if you
what
guys
we got to do on that day.
So if you guys can see that, like the things that are leaving is so you can shine brighter.
And so you can become more centered in yourself versus like what's going on externally.
Right. It's a beautiful way to put it.
Yeah.
You want that masculine and feminine to show up together inside of us.
And again, I'm not saying, we go into that day and it should be easy.
Right.
It may not be.
No.
But we're going through it for a reason.
Right.
And it's like maybe,
we can get to the other side together.
Right, exactly. And remember, there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. Oh, we're seeing a beautiful butterfly.
Yeah, there's a butterfly. And always remember, if that's a great day for you and it's super easy, awesome. And if it's a hard day for you, that's awesome too. It's going to be okay.
Yeah, we're all kind of at different points in our journey, and it's okay to honor that.
And
you're not doing it wrong.
No, you're not doing it wrong. And I would say things are moving. So even if you feel like you're clinging, and you're like, I don't want to cling, then just say.
Yeah.
And let it just happen naturally.
Let it go.
There's a lot of things that are helping us along.
Yeah.
So again, that surrender energy. Okay, is there anything else you'd like to say for the week, ma'am?
I just think it's going to be a beautiful week, and I think, the best thing we can do is kind of just try and remain on that higher octave of things, and remember it's going for a reason, and we're going in our own direction for a reason.
Yep, and I would like to say, just remember, just to light that little flame again.
Yeah, the inner lantern.
Yep, and it's once you light it, it's not going to be distinguished, it's going to get bigger. So, all right, friends, till then, I'll see you on the new moon. I'm going to put out a video with Brittany, who does yoga and then past life regressions. And then I'll do my midweek. When is our new moon? I'll do my midweek first and then Thursday's the
14th, Thursday.
Okay, good. Good. Time there. All right, guys, till then, have a great week.
Bye.